of paper. A birth certificate, same quality of paper, 500 shillings. Can you justify why we are paying so much money for the quality of paper that you call a logbook, for the quality of paper that you call a birth certificate? When you look, Mr. Speaker, at something like a national identity card, probably the quality of the hard copy could justify the cost. Could you convince me about this quantum? And then finally, I know this might not be a question, but see how you can handle it. Parents are not able to afford 500 shillings in the rural areas for those birth certificates. What will be your advice to government, now that you're full of energy, about the need for us to remove charges on birth certificates?
Senator Muma. Senator Muma.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity to ask this question. Honorable Speaker, my question to CS, and before I even ask the question, I wish to welcome the CS to the Senate. The CS is my former chairman in our party, and I wish to welcome you here, and to wish you well. We have the confidence that you will add value to the ministry that you have gone to and enable this country to move forward from where it is. So be assured that we have the confidence you will do what you're required to do. Honorable CS, my question is, have you put in place any mechanism to conduct an audit of the NHIF funds in order to account to the people of Kenya on the funds they have been putting in NHIF, which purportedly is wound up as at yesterday? Allow me to explain, Honorable CS. There are people who prepaid for health insurance at the beginning of the year. They are now being told they can no longer use the NHIF card. How has this been transitioned, and has a special audit is a special audit being carried out of the accounts of NHIF to ensure accountability for every cent that the citizens have put in that institution?
Senator Okanyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This one is a bit related to the National Health Insurance Fund. First, I wish to congratulate the Cabinet Secretary and also ask why hospitals are still owed money by the defunct body, yet money had already been deducted through people's contributions, and how much is the outstanding debt? Thank you.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm using the dispatch because I wanted to be able to see my brother and see how the transition is shaping up. I can see him, he's doing well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question is a general question on the whole issue of the e-citizen platform. Mheshimiwa CS, I come from Kitui with very, very huge areas that have zero mobile network connectivity. The people that live in those areas are Kenyans, and they need government services. some of which have got to be paid for. Now here's a situation on a CS where there are people, not just in Kitui, but in other parts of this country, that desire and deserve to access government services, but for mistakes not of their own, they are unable to access the services because of zero mobile network connectivity. My question is, well, I see what the government is trying to do is a noble thing, but a bit absurd, because we are trying to run before we can walk. Should it then the beginning be, we ensure mobile network connectivity in every part of this country, so then people can be required to use e-citizen. And I say this fully aware that the Treasury is the one that allocates money for such universal coverage. Bwana CS, are you considering as a ministry to make those finances available and be part of a multi-agency team of ministries that will ensure the connectivity first before you can demand people to use e-citizen to access government services? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now proceed to respond to the first set of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I captured questions from 4 senators. I missed one, and unfortunately, I may need even to get to know the name of the senator. But from the answers that I'll give, Mr. Speaker, you will know the senator whose questions I didn't pick. Actually, it was one question. And unfortunately, she's a lady, and no bias is only that I didn't pick it. So
referring to Senator Esi Okenyuri.
Exactly. So the question, I think, if you don't mind, will be repeated so that I come back to it. But let me address the questions that I captured. First is from Senator for Narok, Ledama. Senator, Honorable Speaker, this system has now been handed over to the government fully. And it is being operated under contractual arrangement with ICT Authority, which is like the department driving. So the money that we collect, all the monies, including convenience fee, is collected by ICT, is collected by government. We pay it to ICT Authority, which then pay the service provider. So the service provider does not collect any money for us. The money is paid to the government. I think that should be very clear. So we have a contract of about 3 years. The details of this contract, the framework, could be provided by the line ministry, which is the one that is responsible for the technical aspect of it. But it is a 3 years contract, after which then the government will evaluate whether the system would be continued or we are getting a new system. So it is a 3 years contract, it's not in perpetuity. On the questions by Honorable Senator Boni Khalwale, online ministries determining the fees charged, that's what I would say. Because logbook, birth certificate, the fees that are charged are actually determined by the line ministries. The justification around it, I may not have the full facts. Why logbooks maybe and birth certificates are charged the same and the quality is different, it could be answered more appropriately by the line ministries, because they're the ones who design and determine how much is charged. As part of government, I would only take the feedback to my colleagues. If there is a concern from people's representatives of the charges in terms of the high charges, it is a feedback I would take with me. But I want to just also put it that as people's representative, I know you also have the mandate, and by the way, you have the capacity even to invite the line ministries which charge these amounts and engage, interrogate and even recommend that the charges be reduced or even taken off if that would be the most desirable route to take. Senator Muma Catherine, whether we have conducted audits of the NHIF funds, no, we haven't, but we are transitioning to a new authority, but I'm sure that the Auditor General will audit NHIF to find out the closure. As Treasury, which is also responsible for ensuring transparency and accountability of and management generally of public funds, we can also conduct audit using our internal audit team, but as at now, we haven't conducted audit. That is a task that can still be conducted. On Senator Wambua's question, I agree. Many areas of this country still don't even have network connectivity. As any system, once you roll it out is where you discover teething problems or challenges, so to speak. And these are some of the challenges. The rollout has been very smooth, but there are challenges with areas which don't have network. Government has a very robust program to roll out network connectivity across the country. And there is already a special fund allocated to the Communications Authority to be able to carry out this rollout. Mr. Speaker, the only questions I missed was from the Senator. If with your permission, it can be repeated, then maybe I may take it together with any other subsequent questions, or if it is the last one, then I will take it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed, Senator Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm surprised the CS has forgotten his colleague, or it's because he crossed to the other side. I'm Senator Okenyuri Esther, and the question I had was touching on Senator Sifuna mentioned about payments that are being done to NHIF, and I rose to ask why hospitals are still being owed money by the defunct body, yet people had already been deducted money through the contributions that have been done by them, and how much is the outstanding debt? Thank you.
Senator Mohammed Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to congratulate our CS, Karibu Sana. My question to the CS is about NHIF payments. And I know you are new there, you've just joined the Treasury, but I wanted you to note that we have a problem. There is an engineer from Marsabit, Engineer Wako Guyo, who died on 24th November 2020, and his final dues were tabulated and referred to the Treasury. It's about 15 million shillings. And this is not the only case with the engineer Wako. It is across the problem which is across this country. I know you are an efficient cabinet secretary, and I know you're going to make a lot of changes. I wanted to know what the CS can do. I want you to note down the name of the engineer on how to settle these payments. It is from 2020 and we are in 2024. He has children who are going to school. He has children who has failed to pay university fees. And this is not only him, this is across this country. What can the CS do to alleviate the situation of our people under this situation? Thank you very much.
Now, honorable senators, the supplementary questions that they're asking must be related to the primary question. Stand guided. Senator Wamatinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to also ask a question. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to first of all congratulate the CS for joining our government in the broad-based arrangement. And my question, Mr. Speaker, sir, is will the CS tell us if he has any plan to reintroduce the Huduma number and synchronize it with the e-citizen functions, so that when it comes to matters that are transacted by the citizens, especially the compensation of land issues, which has been one of the main corruption challenges in this country, whether we can be able to synchronize the Huduma number, the e-citizen, and capture the values of those compensations which are made vis-a-vis having a unified approach, so that you do not have different values for land when they are being sold by private citizens, but the government ends up paying exorbitant prices for the same pieces of land. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Let me start by congratulating the CS on his new appointment and say that I trust that he will be able to change and transform Treasury for the benefit of the people of Kenya. My question is about NHIF, the pending bills, especially for faith-based hospitals in the country, particularly Bishop Kioko Hospital in Machakos, which NHIF owes them 60 million. Not only Bishop Kioko, but the rest of the hospitals, they are facing a lot of challenges, and yet people go to hospitals and they pay with the NHIF. Those bills are paid, but the money is transmitted to NHIF, but this money never gets back to the hospitals. What are you doing about it, Honorable CS? Because this is really a big challenge, even to our national hospitals. Thank you.
Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika. Swali langu ingawa iko na dosari kidogo, lakini ningeomba tu uniruhusu niweze kuongea ama kuuliza Bwana Waziri, kwa sababu anaweza kujibu. Ya kwanza ni kushukuru Waziri wa Hazina na Fedha kwa sababu alipata kiti ambaye ya kusaidia mambo ya fedha na kwa hii serikali ya muungano, na mpaka kulionekana anaweza kufanya hiyo kazi. Bwana Waziri, kwa hivyo nipongezi. Bwana Waziri, swali langu ni katika Embu County, mambo ya fedha huwa imeselewa sana, na unajua tulikubali kwa hii kipindi ya serikali ya muungano kila pesa iwe ikienda county kila mwezi. Lakini Embu County mwezi wa 7, mwezi wa 8 na mwezi wa 9, miezi 3 anja kuweza kupata pesa, na kumekuwa na maramishi ya mambo ya pending bill na wage bill na mambo ya agriculture. Pia ile shida kubwa sana ni pesa ya kununua ndawa. Kwa hiyo ningeomba Bwana Waziri, kama uko na uwezo ya kujibu, hata kama Spika amesema yes kuwa inafanana zile unaulizwa hapa leo, najua uko na njia ya kujibu hiyo swali, na iende ikawa si Embu County peke yake, ni tuko county 47. Asante Bwana Spika.
Senator Mutinda Tabita.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Allow me also to register my remarks by congratulating the Waziri, because he's the first Waziri to appear before this Senate as Waziri of, as a Minister of Finance, because the other one never appeared. My quick question, Waziri, is on the issue of application for the ID cards. ID cards application costs 300 shillings and ID replacement costs 1,000 shillings. But what is your take as the Minister for Finance for scrapping off completely the cost of anybody acquiring an identity card in this country, because we are all citizens by virtue that we are born in this country, and bringing this cost totally to zero? And lastly, who owns e-citizen? And if government owns e-citizen, why then do we have double charge, whereby you have the amount that you are paying, and then still there's an additional cost, as you earlier mentioned, in regards to the processing fee?